Hello, welcome to the third lecture of cryptographic mathematics, and in this we'll be discussing about the Galois field in particular, and we will also be looking into the modular polynomial arithmetic. To begin with, Galois field is actually a finite field which was developed by the mathematician Galois and has the name Galois field. The abbreviation is GF. GFP is basically representing a prime number, and it is said that the order of the finite field must be a power of the prime number. Therefore, GFP raised to the power n is the general field. When n equals to 1, we get Galois field of prime numbers, and when n is greater than 1, then it is Galois field of p raised to the power n. And we will see that the structure of both these are quite different. So we will start with GF, or the Galois field of the prime numbers, and this is equivalent to the ZP integers that we saw in the previous lecture, which has got the values from 0 to p minus 1. And if we look at the example of the GF2, 2 is a prime number, so the Galois field is equivalent to the field of ZP over the operations of addition and multiplication. So if we take the truth table, and we'll find out that with respect to the operation plus, the values that we have is 0 and 1 and 0 and 1 over here. So 0 plus 0 gives 0 and 1 plus 1 gives 0. So you will find that in the Galois field of this prime number, you will get the additive inverses, and these inverses are represented by the identity element 0. 0 plus 1 will give you 1, and 1 plus 0 will give you 1 as a result, and you will find that these table look quite similar to the XOR operation. The multiplication table, 0 0 results in a 0, 0 1 also results in 0, and 1 0 results in 0, 1 1 results in 1, and you will find that this resembles quite a lot to the AND table that we have. So the multiplication operation is and mostly, and addition is the XOR operation. And if we check the inverse, then inverse of 0 in additive operation is 0. The inverse of 1 is 1, because we are getting the additive identity that is 0 in case of 0 0 and 1 1. And the multiplicative inverse of 0 is not possible, because it is a field, and field clearly says that the identity element of the first operation cannot have the inverse in the second operation. Therefore, this 0 cannot have the multiplicative inverse. 1 has got the multiplicative inverse, and that is itself. So this is the most simplistic Galois field that we can have. Now, if you check the Galois field of 7, you will find that the modular tables of the Z7 domain over the operation plus and multiplication will be same. Galois field 7 says that 0 plus 0 is equals to 0, 0 plus 1 equals to 1, so on and so forth. So 0 is the inverse of 0. 1 plus 0 is 1, 1 plus 1 is 2, 1 plus 2 is 3, 1 plus 3 is 4, and up till the last, if you see, it will be 1 plus 6, that is 7. 7 mod 7, because it is a 7 domain. So the additive inverse of 1 is 6, additive inverse of 2 is 5, so on and so forth. And you will find that all the elements have got the additive inverses, right? And therefore it fulfills the requirement of the abelian group. In multiplication, if we check, then 0 cannot have the multiplicative inverse because of the condition of the field. 1 has got the multiplicative inverse as 1, 2 has got the multiplicative inverse as 4, and the calculation is also simple, that 2 cross 3 is equals to 6, 6 mod 7 is 6, 2 cross 6 equals to 12, and 12 mod 7 is equals to 5. So you simply perform the mod 7 operation, and you will get these tables. If you look at this table, this represents the additive inverse and the multiplicative inverse of the values. So the additive inverse is 0, and the multiplicative inverse of 0 is not possible. For 1 it is 6. You can check from these tables and fill this out. So far the discussion is okay, because we are talking about the prime numbers, and for prime numbers the Galois field and Z7 domain are same. Because in the previous lecture we said that ZP is a field, but Zn is not a field, it is a commutative ring, right? N means instead of P we can have any other value. If we are having any other value and that value is 8, so Z8 is basically what? If we again create the modular table for the Z8 operator over addition and multiplication, we will find that in additive all the values have got their inverses, which are represented by the highlighted cell over here. So 1 inverse is 7, 2's inverse is 6, so on and so forth. How? Because 2 plus 6 equals to 8, 8 mod 8 is equals to 0. Therefore, every value has got its inverse. In multiplication, you will find that not all values have got the inverses, because the even numbers cannot have their inverses, and we have already discussed about this in great details in the previous lectures. So, all the values do not have the multiplicative inverse. Therefore, we can say that the multiplicative inverse property, which is one of the requirements of the field, is not fulfilled. So Z8 can be a commutative ring, but it cannot be a field. And in the previous lecture we have said that we want to have fields in order to work in the cryptography, right? Therefore, there is a problem. Second problem is that if you see the distribution of the elements, you will find that in additive matrix each number is evenly distributed, but the frequency of the elements is not evenly distributed in the multiplicative matrix. The element 1 is occurring 4 times, the 2 is occurring 8 times, then 3 is occurring 4 times, 4 is occurring 12 times, so on and so forth. So because of this uneven distribution of frequencies, any cryptanalyst one can easily guess that the probability of occurring of 4s is quite high as compared to the probability of occurring of 1, 3, 5 and 7. And in order to hide such frequency informations, one of the aim of ours is that every element should be uniformly distributed, as in the case of the addition matrix over here, right? Secondly, we also want that all the values of our set should have a multiplicative inverse as well, right? So these two are the basic requirement that we have. Now, why do we need Galois field and how does it offer us a solution? So we need to perform all the basic operations. So we need to have a field, that's what we had established previously. The problem is that if we are going for a 3-bit representation, for example, then we are generating values from 0 to 7, right? So these are 8 values. So these 8 values will be the Z8 domain. Z8 domain is a commutative ring. If we are talking about 8 bits, then we are talking about Z256 domain, right? And you will find that always we will be getting an even number over here, and these even numbers cannot be prime numbers. Since they are not the prime numbers, they cannot be represented by ZP. If they are not represented by ZP, that means they cannot be field, and all these numbers are basically commutative rings. And ring do not support the division operation for all the values. So one of the solution is that if we are opting for a 3-bit domain, so instead of going for Z8, we can take the largest prime number and we can say that okay, we will go for Z7. So 7 is a prime number and therefore Z7 is a field. Similarly, in case of 8 bits, we have 256 options from 0 to 255. So we can say that we can go for the largest prime number, which is 251 within this domain, and therefore Z251 could be taken as our domain because then it will be a field. But if we do so, then what about the values from 251 to 255? They will go wasted, right? And therefore this will lead to the inefficiencies. We do not want to go for such an approach as a solution. So the better solution is to go for 2 raised to the power n Galois field. Now this 2 raised to the power n Galois field, if you see, can also be written as Galois field of p raised to the power n order. Why? Because 2 is a prime number and to the power n is basically synonymous to p raised to the power n. If we look at the table of Galois field of 2 raised to the power 3, so it is also generating 8 values, through 3-bit representation, and you will see that all the 8 values are generated from 0 to 7 in both the sides. Therefore, number of elements are same, but you will notice that there is a slight change in the matrix. You have got inverse for all the values in the addition matrix, and you have got multiplicative inverse for all the values as well. You have got a multiplicative inverse for 1, for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, all the values. For 0 we cannot have, right? So Galois field is somehow doing away the problem that we had with the Z8 domain. So in Z8 domain we were not having the multiplicative inverse of all the values. In Galois field 2 raised to the power 8 we are getting the inverse of multiplicative inverse for all the values. Secondly, if we look at the frequency, then you will find that 1 is occurring 7 times, and similarly 2 is also occurring 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7 times. So all the elements are occurring equal number of times. Therefore, the uneven frequency distribution problem has also been taken care of in the Galois field. But the calculation of the values is a bit different. It is not simple addition and multiplication, because if you look here, so 3 plus 5 is equals to 8, and 8 mod 8 should have resulted in a 0, but it results in a 6. So the way it is calculated is a bit different, and for that we need to understand the polynomial arithmetic. Another thing that is important over here is that if you look at the inverse values, so the inverse for 0 is 0, additive inverse, the additive inverse for 1 is 1, 2 is 2, and thereby we can say that the minus a is equals to a. Therefore, any number when represented as minus 2, it is equivalent to writing plus 2, right, in Galois field only. And we will be using this, so just keep that in mind. So in modular arithmetic, if you have got any bit stream, and I have taken an 8-bit number which is 100, 10101. So in general, when you convert this binary into the decimal, you start by multiplying it with 2 raised to the power 0, then 2 raised to the power 1, 2 and 3 and 4. Similarly, you can have x values over here. So x0, x1, x2, x3, x4 up till x7, right? And with respect to x0, you had got a 1, so 1 x0, 0 x1, so this is nullified, then x square, then this is nullified because of a 0, and similarly you will get the values like x0 plus x square plus x to the power 4 plus x to the power 7, right? And this x to the power 0 is basically 1, therefore it can be written as x to the power 7, x to the power 4 plus x to the power 2 plus 1. So this equation or polynomial equation has been derived from the 8-bit input stream. Similarly, if we have got 8 bits like 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, so the polynomial notation for this is x to the power 6, 5, 3, 1, right? So this is how we generate the polynomial notation for the binaries that we have. If we check the polynomial notation for the values that have been generated in the Galois field 2 raised to the power 3 in the previous slide, then we will find that 0, 0, 0 can be represented by 0. Why? Because if I am writing 0, 0, 0, so this 0 gets multiplied to x to the power 0, x to the power 1 and x to the power 2, and all multiplied by 0 will result in a 0. Here x0 is multiplied by 1 and x to the power 0 is 1, so it results in 1. Here you have got x to the power 1 multiplied by 1, so you get x. Here you have x0 plus x, then here you have x0, x1 and x2, so x to the power 2, as a result x square, and similarly x square plus 1, x square plus x, and x square plus x plus 1, right? For GF 2 raised to the power n in general, the order of the polynomial will never exceed n minus 1. As you can see from the example, that if I am talking about 2 raised to the power 3 Galois field, then the maximum degree that can go for the polynomial notation is 2, which is actually 3 minus 1. Therefore, never in the Galois field polynomial notation you can have an order that exceeds n minus 1. The maximum is n minus 1. If in some cases, if you are like multiplying two polynomials, there are chances that the power or the order of this x exceeds n minus 1, and if that is the case, then you have to perform the mod operation by an irreducible polynomial, right? And this irreducible polynomial has to be having the highest order equal to n. In this example, it should be 3. So the irreducible polynomial for order 3 is x to the power 3 plus x plus 1. Why is it called as irreducible polynomial? Because you cannot represent them as a product of two different polynomials. So you have to perform the mod operation when the polynomial notation exceeds the order of n, and we'll see how to perform such operations. So operations on the modular polynomial arithmetic, and again I'm taking the example from 2 raised to the power 3 domain. If I'm saying that my one of the functions is x square plus x plus 1, so this basically represents what? 1 1 1, that is 7. Gx is equals to x square plus 1, so this represents what? This represents 1 0 1, that is 5. You can refer to my previous slides. And since it is a Galois field of order 3, so we need to have a modulus domain as well with the irreducible polynomial, which is again of the order x to the power 3 plus x plus 1. So if you want to add fx plus gx, then fx is replaced by the equation x square plus x plus 1 and gx by the x square plus 1. And here you will see that the terms, if they are repeating with the plus sign, like x square is repeating over here, so this basically evaluates to 0, because this is the addition operation, and we saw in the Galois field matrix that the inverse of the number is itself, right? Therefore, when x square and x square, so they act as inverse of each other, and therefore they result in a 0. So x square and x square results in a 0, 1 and 1 results in a 0. So this is equivalent to x. Alright. Other way to think about is the XOR operation. In XOR also, when you have got the input of the same kind, that is 1 XOR 1 results in a 0, 0 XOR 0 results in a 0. Similarly, x square XOR x square results in a 0. Alright. If you want to do the multiplication, then fx cross gx is equals to x square plus x plus 1 cross x square plus 1, and when you multiply x square to the x square plus x plus 1, you get x to the power 4 plus x cube plus x square plus 1 into this fx, that is x square plus x plus 1. And here you will find that the x square and x square are same, therefore they evaluate to 0, and the result is x to the power 4 x to the power 3 plus x plus 1. Now you will notice that you are getting an polynomial notation of the order that is more than n minus 1, and the value of n is 3. Here it is 4. Therefore, a mod operation has to be performed. For mod operation, the resultant is x to the power 4 plus x cube plus x plus 1 mod with the mx value of the irreducible polynomial, that is x cube plus x plus 1. So for mod operation, you have to divide. For dividing, I have kept these voids deliberately because this is actually the place for x square, and x square we didn't have in the equation, so I am just leaving a space for it. So x cube plus x plus 1 goes x times to produce x to the power 4 plus x square plus x, right? So x to the power 4 and x to the power 4 nullify each other. X cube is written as it is, x square is written as it is, and x and x nullify each other. Then you will have the last term, that is plus 1. Now this whole term goes 1 times, right? And it evaluates to x cube plus x plus 1. X cube and x cube evaluates to 0. So we get x square plus x, and then 1 plus 1 or 1 XOR 1 evaluates to 0. Therefore, the result is going to be x square plus x, right? Just verify the result, and for verification, let me just write it down that this is x square plus x plus 1, so it represents 1, 1 and 1, which is equivalent to 7, and this is x square, then x has got no value and x naught has got a value, so this is equivalent to 5. Here x, that means x square is 0. Here x naught, x to the power 1 is 1 and x naught is 0, therefore it is equals to 2. And here x square is 1, x to the power 1 is 1 and x naught is not there, therefore it is equals to 6. So when we multiply 7 and 5, the answer is 6, and when we add 7 and 5, the answer is 2. Let's just verify. So 7 and 5 when added gives 2, 7 and 5 when multiplied gives 6. So this is how the Galois field of 2 raised to the power 3 is calculated. You can calculate other values as well and you will get the result as per the matrix that is mentioned over here. What I want you to do is that try creating the same matrix but in the polynomial arithmetic modulo x to the power 3 plus x plus 1 form. That if I'm talking about Galois field 2 raised to the power 8 domain, then if the functions are f and g and the modulus operation of the irreducible polynomial is given over here as well. So if you are performing an addition operation, fx plus gx, then basically you are adding this term to this term, and when you see to compare these two, you will find x and 1 are repeating, so they will nullify. This will result in x to the power 7, x to the power 6, x to the power 4, x square. And if we represent the same numbers in terms of the binary, so the binary here is 0 1 0 1 0 1 1 1, because this is x naught, this is x1, this is x square, this is x4, then this is x6. And similarly the binary for this notation, when you perform the XOR operation, it results in the value 1 1 0 1 0 1 0 0. Now this in the polynomial notation is x naught x1 x square plus x4 plus x6 plus x7, which is written over here, right? If you want to represent them in the hexadecimal, then this binary is equivalent to 57, and curly braces are used to represent the hexadecimal in our book and in our examples, and it XORed with the hexadecimal value 83, it results in the hexadecimal value d4. So in either of these forms it could be done. The easiest one is the polynomial notation for the calculations. If you want to calculate the inverse of a hexadecimal value like 95 in GF 2 raised to the power 8 domain, so you basically convert it into the binary and then the Polish notation, that is x to the power 7, x to the power 4 plus x square plus 1. And then in order to find the inverse, we had studied about the extended Euclidean algorithm. So that algorithm could be used to calculate the inverse of the values like these. So here you will have the value of n. N is the modulus domain. So the modulus domain over here is x to the power 8, 4, 3, x plus 1. So you will write it over here. And then R2 is basically the number of which you want to calculate the inverse. So it is x to the power 7 plus x4 plus x square plus 1. And when you divide these two, it goes x times to produce certain remainder, and then you know the procedure. If you don't know, then you can refer to the cryptographic part 1 video, and there I have explained how to calculate it. This Galois field is one of the basic things that will be used in the AES encryption techniques. That is our next topic. And the Galois field used in AES is of the order 2 raised to the power 8. Right? So I have just shown you a brief introduction of what is Galois field and how the calculations are being done on the Galois field. Thank you.